Alright guys, let's talk about Kingsisle.
Okay, so now you wanna make love to me. Girl, if you don't get the fuck from me, I know you thought we had something special, but you don't mean nothing to me. Girl, I'm sorry you not the one for me.
Alright. So today I'm going to be putting out a little bit of a different video. Drop a like if you want to see more videos like this. If you make it all the way through the video and have enjoyed it. But basically, I want to get my thoughts out about Kingsisle and the game, and, you know, just give my honest opinion about the game, like in the sense that a teacher would give you feedback on how he or she feels you're doing in school right now, whether it's like, you know, like hardcore feedback, like you're not doing good in this subject, or, you know, like you're not listening. That's the kind of criticism that I want to give to Kingsisle and the game right now, whether it is good or bad, and basically talk about, you know, the past and the present a little bit, and how it's kind of escalated from how it was back then to how it is now. For those of you that are kind of late to the Kingsisle drama train with the game and the community dying, and it is dying, it is on a like a serious decline. So basically, starting off, I want to say that around the time of like 2012, 2013, the game was really striving. You know, Kingsisle, I want to assume, had a lot of money, a lot of time on their hands. You know, their full staff was still working at Kingsisle, and, you know, it would have been a good time for the company then to had, you know, established a, you know, back and forth communication between them and the community, because the people that left the game now could have contributed like a lot to the game, you know, and like in terms of updates that could have already come out, or updates that could be in the game already. And I feel like that's just, you know, missed opportunities on Kingsisle's part, that, you know, they should have taken that into consideration. And it's something that they're doing now, you know, rather than, you know, should have done that a long time ago, and it's really hurting their company. So 2012, 2013, definitely striving. The company was very healthy in terms of money, I want to say, and the game itself wasn't really that boring. So cut to 2015, the end of 2015 and the middle of 2016 is when the game started to kind of, you know, get boring. You know, the updates, yeah, they were kind of keeping the game going. People were starting to drop off at an abnormally fast pace. You know, friends were quitting. There was like a rise in WizTubers, I guess you could say, that was kind of keeping the game going. But definitely towards the middle of 2016, like along with the Chrysalis Part 2 update and the Darkmoor update, Wiz definitely started to see a decline in the community. You know, that feedback was more or less being ignored from the community to Kingsisle. And, you know, now that we're in 2016, and, you know, like before we know it, we'll be in the middle of 2018, the game is looking like it's going to be dead in a couple of years here if something major doesn't happen. And I think it's kind of ignorant that Kingsisle is putting out things like this monstrology update when there are things in the game that are obviously broken, that if they can be fixed, they can easily bring back at least a large portion of the community and bring back the replay value that Wiz somewhat had in the beginning of 2015 and like towards the end of 2014, when the game was like super striving. Like the golden years of Wiz are basically summed up in 2012 through, I believe, like the middle of 2015, and then from there the updates started to, you know, get a little bit repetitive. You know, there were some good changes, but at the same time, they weren't enough. They were kind of like add-ons on top of the bad things that were just really making players leave, more or less. So like, it's not what players wanted, and they kept on doing that so much that eventually the community just left. They started complaining, people started ranting, and money started going down, and this resulted in Kingsisle having to fire half of their staff. If you don't remember that, like around I'm not really sure it was, but like recently, in terms of like years, Kingsisle had to fire like half of their staff, like some good people, and this was a very big deal because it got around the Twitter community pretty dang quick, which is like the most active community as far as like not being straight on the game. But the Twitter 101, the Wizard101 community on Twitter was very, very active, and is still very, very active today. Well, at least what's left of it anyways. But this got around pretty quickly, and I think it was then that people decided, yeah, this game is probably going to die like very, very soon. And it is like Kingsisle kind of reached out to the community and started to say, okay guys, like we're gonna start listening to you now, when you should have probably started listening to us a long time ago. But now that this is all said and done, like it's kind of hard to like put your head out of that dark cloud. Like, wow, you know, Kingsisle fired half of their staff, you know, they're putting out updates, like even to this day, you know, with this monstrology crap. Like, just actually being honest, how many of you get on Wiz to go do some monstrology update stuff? Like, is that something that you actually wake up and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get on Wiz and I'm gonna go straight to doing some monstrology stuff? Because in my opinion, that is so stupid. Like, that update is so stupid. It really had little to nothing to add or to fix, like dealing with the game's like replay value. It introduced nothing at all. So it just kind of puzzles me, man, and it kind of makes me mad because they're adding things onto the game when there could be things, you know, in the game that can be added to fix the things that need to be fixed in the game that can easily bring back replay value. And it makes no sense, and I think that that is the most important thing that Kingsisle needs to do. They need to start fixing their game before they add on new things, because the way I look at it right now, it would be more or less of a blessing to log onto Wiz and find out that PvP has been fixed. There have been changes to critical. There has been changes to, you know, things to make the game easier, right? Instead of logging on and having to deal with a whole new world, you know, with the normal BS that is already going on within Wiz. Like, how can I focus on something new when I already have things to focus on and things that are depressing me on a game that I honestly grew up playing and want to continue playing, but the company does not care about these things? It frustrates you, man. It really does frustrate you that they're continuing to ignore the things that players are complaining about and are putting out things like monstrology. They are fixing a few things, but nothing that was a straight result of the community. It was just, oh, let's put out something new. No, stop putting out things that are new and fix your game. Fix the holes within your game. Stop putting out games like mobile games and Pirate 101 and fix the game that is bringing you the most money. Stop focusing on things that are so small and start using the money that you have before it's gone and wasted on stupid things like monstrology, and fix these plot holes in the game. Fix these holes that people are falling through and making, like, ultimately making them leave the game. And I think that is what Kingsisle needs to do before they start adding new things in the game, because it is honestly ridiculous that there are so many things in the game that people are complaining about, and it honestly more or less should be a thing of us introducing new ideas rather than complaining about things that are in the game that we don't like. I think those two need to be swapped, and I think Kingsisle seriously needs to do something about it if they want to keep their game going. I mean, sheesh, by like 2019, because if the game keeps going in the position or in the way that it's going right now, it's definitely not going to be looking good in terms of the community and people that are making videos on Wizard101 on YouTube. and you know, Kingsisle themselves are eventually going to lose even more and more money, and it's just not going to be a good year for Wiz. So Kingsisle, if you're listening, fix your game and then focus on updates, because if you fix your game, we'll be happy. The community will come back, and then you can start adding on new things. Just don't break the game with this update. Test Realm is meant to be, you know, tested and played out, but if the community tells you that this update is honestly going to break the game, or after the test realm they tell you these things need to be fixed, you honestly don't need to go about removing a whole system like the old critical system and replacing it with something that the community is eventually going to complain about for years to come. So that is going to be my rant for today, basically informing you guys of what made the game what it is today, or at least the state that it's in today, and what caused the state of mind that the community is in today over the course of the years. And man, I'm just hoping that Kingsisle, you know, sees this or can hear our voice and fix their game, man. Like, seriously, because I grew up playing this game. I don't want to stop playing it. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the video for today. If you enjoyed or want to see more face cam videos in the future, or just rant in the future, then drop a like, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.